Hi there, welcome to Sherry's Stamp Treasures. This is going to be the first video in a series of videos on embossing, heat embossing. So all the products that I'm using are from the Stampin' Up! Catalog, and you can find all of the embossing products on page 167. We have several different embossing powders, the heat tool, the Embossing Buddy. So I'm going to go through some basics in this first video. So some of the things that you need are Versamark ink, embossing powder, and like I said, in the catalog on that page there are several different colors. For today's video we're going to be using gold embossing powder. And we will need a heat gun or heat tool. And then I recommend a pair of tweezers so you don't burn your fingers, because the heat tool does get very, very hot. And then of course you'll need stamps and cardstock as well. So the stamp that I'm using today is this poinsettia image from the Joyful Christmas stamp set. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started. First of all, the Embossing Buddy, which is the powdery sack that's pictured in the catalog. For some reason mine has gone missing. I do recommend that. It's just this little sack with some powder in it, and you can rub your cardstock with it before you start embossing, and that just removes any excess static that might be in the paper where embossing powder might stick. Okay? But like I said, mine seems to have gone missing, so I won't use that today. And as far as cardstock for today, I am using vellum cardstock. You can use any kind of cardstock, but just for the sake of demonstrating, I'm going to use that. And like I said, the large poinsettia image from the Joyful Christmas. I'm going to use my Versamark ink. Because this is a larger image, I like to put it upside down and then ink it that way. Make sure it's nice and well inked. I'm going to stamp it on my vellum cardstock and peel it back. Now this is a watermark ink. It's a sticky ink. I don't know if you can see. It's just very, very subtle. Another way that you can use Versamark ink is by doing tone-on-tone stamping on colored cardstock. So you can use it on any colored cardstock, and it looks like you've stamped it in the same color ink. It creates great subtle backgrounds. Okay, so now you're probably wondering why I'm using a coffee filter, but I find it great for catching excess embossing powder, and then it makes it easy to dump back into the container when you're finished. Okay, so I'm going to take my image, and you can be quite generous with this. Just kind of dump it. And then I'll just flick off the excess, and just make sure that you've got it all. Okay, that looks about right. Okay, so I'm just going to slide this out of the way. Actually, I'll show you how I do this here. So, just by making a little funnel, you can just dump it right back in nicely. Alright. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my heat tool and heat it, and I'm just going to hold it with my tweezers. Now, a couple things, because the heat tool is a little noisy and I won't be able to talk over top. Some things that you want to watch is you can see how it's kind of powdery now. You'll see it'll change rather quickly, and it'll give it that nice gold metallic look. Okay? So now I've got my heat tool. You don't want to hold it too close. Actually, you know what? The tweezers aren't going to work well for demonstrating purposes. Let's just hold it. Can you kind of see how it started to change there in that one spot? And you'll see it'll change quickly. That looks pretty good. And you see how it's all metallic now, and now it's set, so you can rub your fingers over it. It takes no time at all. Alright, so that's how you heat emboss. Okay, so be sure to stop by again, and I will have a few other tips on heat embossing, and some different ways that you can use it. Alright, thanks for watching.